information, he said he was from not from Britain, but from Bradford. So we're about to get underway with heat number 10. And we are underway. As there's a driver actually on the grass actually going through turn number 1. But pretty even start from all of our top drivers. A little bit of argy-bargy as usual through hairpin 1. In fact, a driver number 7 being forced super wide. I believe that's actually Ian Wilson. So Ian Wilson's lost a good few positions in the opening phase of this race. And I don't think either of our front row are still at the front of this field. We've got a yellow flag in the first sector, as once again the drivers have found it very difficult to miss those blocks that make up the chicane. And a huge send from the number 30 of Rich Nail, who started this race in 5th position and has found himself up into the lead. It'd be interesting to see what the race control deem of that though. You can see the yellow flags are out, half race speed, no overtaking, so that the marshals can fix the blocks just after hairpin 2, just at the bottom of the shot there. As they continue to race. I believe that is actually a yellow flag, not a red flag, just the light of the day looking as such. These drivers continue to circulate under yellow flag going down the hill. Green flag now showing down into the bottom of the hill, and the drivers needing no second invitation to get back racing again. I believe at the number 30 of Rich Neal, after performing that exact same move down at Garda by shuffling drivers wide, gets a bit of karma and has the same move done to him. So he moves from 5th to 1st and then back down to 4th again, just in the space of a couple of laps, half of which was under yellow flags. So he's had a very interesting start to his race. Right now it is the number 23 of Stephen Soden, who started in 4th position, who leads. 2nd position is Dylan Kadir. Started in 9th place, so he's made his way up to 2nd. Just goes to show how chaotic the start of this race has been. Typically in these heavyweight races, we have seen the drivers who qualified near the front extend their lead in the front of this grid. But this race seems to be more akin to a lightweight, one of the lightweight races that we've seen so far today. A lot of battling, a lot of shuffling for position. In this kind of race, we're going to see a lot more of later with the randomised grid starts. So it's Stephen Snowden for BN Racing at the front. Dylan Kadir for the Legends of Karting team. I would argue if you're in a team that's called Legends of Karting, you better do pretty well in this event. And he has just proven me right by setting the fastest lap of this race, a 51.7. And taking the lead as well from Stephen Snowden. So Dylan Kadir, after qualifying down in 9th position, has made it up into the lead in less than 3 minutes. Meanwhile, side by side, further back between Mike Smith and Rich Neal for 3rd position. But these top two, Stephen and Dylan, starting to break away at the front. Mike Smith cutting a huge amount of the track there, the number 3 car on the downhill. It will seem like the pace that Dylan Kadir has shown so far. He's just set a purple middle sector on this lap. A couple of tenths faster than what anyone else has managed to achieve. See what kind of pace he has when he crosses the line this time. Tucks down into an aerodynamic position. Has a little look over the shoulder. 51.5 at this stage of the race for heavyweight drivers. It's very competitive indeed. So I was right in saying that neither of our front row drivers are still in the realms of the top 2. Our pole sitter Mike Smith now down to 4th, and 2nd place Ian Wilson now down to 6th. Keep an eye as well on Jack Evans in P7 in the in P6 in the number 7 car. Already made his way up 7 positions from 14th place. Dylan Kadir taking a few good looks over his shoulder to make sure he knows exactly where people are. It's useful to do that, but he needs to make sure that he doesn't do that too much. As is the saying that you look where you go. So if he keeps focusing on those people behind him, he's not going to focus on pushing away at the front, and those people behind him are going to hang on to him. And in fact, if you miss time when you look behind you for one of those looks, then you can often find yourself out braking yourself or missing your braking point. Good battle further down the field between the number 3 of Mike Smith and the number 7 of Ian Wilson. So our top 2 on the grid now fighting for 5th place. I don't think either of them would have wanted that to happen if you told them before the race. See what I'm meaning about Dylan Kadiri is just keep having a look over his shoulder. As he's proven, he obviously has the pace to break away from Steven Soden at the front of this field. But he's just too focused on where the people behind him is. He just needs to get his head down and start setting some good lap times. New fastest lap of the race actually for Steven Soden behind, so you're utilising that slipstream down into the 51.1. So we're going to see a 50 lap time in this heavyweight race. Keep an eye out for Rich Neal as well in the 30. He's matching the pace of these top 2. First down to third, all setting lap times a few tenths of a second faster than everyone else around them. So you'd have to say that the race winner, as it would currently stand, is likely going to come from one of these 3. In fact, it's the number 30 of Rich Neal. You can really see he's pushing onto the back of the 23. So even though Steven Soden set the fastest lap of the race last time out, he's not really gaining on the leader, Dylan Kadiri, who sets another new fastest lap of the race, a 51.1, a lower one this time though. Purple middle sector as well. And now the 23 of Steven Soden is under a bit of pressure from the 30 of Rich Neal. Taking slightly different lines through hairpin 2, one focused on the entry, one focused on the exit. Seems to be pretty similar. You can just see from Rich's driving style there that he is absolutely hustling that car. His teammate Spencer Gent just behind him. He's moved up from 7th to 4th. Both of those drivers, Falcon Motorsport drivers. Mike Smith in 5th representing Accelerate Kemp Brewery. And Andrew Spencer, the funnily named Suck on My Exhaust team. It's obviously working for Andrew because he's just moved up to 5th. So this top 3 continuing to break away at the front of this field. And actually Spencer Gent and Andrew Spencer have now responded in terms of lap time. So this top 5, all lapping relatively similarly to each other. But none of them, with the exception of these 2, are particularly close to each other. Just over 4 minutes left to go to finish off this first batch of heat races for the 2025 Kart Racing Champions here at Buckmore Park. As the sun's just getting lower and lower in the sky. We're not expecting sunset for another few hours yet. It is going to lead to a lovely golden evening we've got here. Very, very lucky with the weather this weekend. That far side of the track now bathed in the shade from the surrounding trees. Track temperature just started to cool a bit. So behind those top 5, Mike Smith continuing to lead the chasing train from 6th backwards, with which involves Jack Evans, Ian Wilson, who started 2nd in this race, Russell Shepard and Will Shevlin. So this top 3 really pushing as hard as they can. Steven Soden, the first one of this top 3 to get down into the 50s, a 50.9, but the other 2 are doing low 51s as well. In fact, the fastest man on track is the number 22 of Will Shevlin in 10th position, a 50.9. But he's just been replaced. New fastest lap of the race for the number 30 of Rich Neal, himself now into the 50s, a 50.8. So all these drivers pushing flat out, responding to each other. And Rich Neal deciding he's not going to wait around anymore. Lovely little move. Pretty textbook, that move. Managed to keep a good amount of momentum coming out of the second hairpin as well. But with the pace of this top 3 being so similar, unless Rich has a little bit more pace in the locker, with just 2.5 minutes left to go in this race, it'll be unlikely that he's going to be able to bridge what is really a relatively small gap to the leader. This top 3 now have a sizable margin over the rest of the chasing pack. New personal best lap from Andrew Spencer in 5th position, just a few hundredths off the overall best lap of the race. That battle seems like it's going to go to the end, the battle for 4th. But Dylan Kadir continues to lead, up from 9th position. In fact, none of the top 5 started in the top 3 on the grid. We've got Dylan Kadir, who started from 9th, Rich Neal from 5th, Stephen Soden from 4th, Spencer Gent from 7th, and Andrew Spencer has made his way up to 5th from 13th on the grid. Special mention as well to Jack Evans, who's currently in 7th, making his way up from 14th on the grid. And Will Shevlin with excellent pace as well in the number 22 car. He started in 16th, now up to 9th. But now we've got a battle between the 30 and the 23. It seems like Rich Neal doesn't quite have the pace on Stephen Soden to be able to break or create any kind of gap. And Dylan Kadir will be very happy to know that these two are battling with each other. 1 minute left to go in this race. They're going to get one more lap next time they cross the line. There seems to be a move down into... Oh, there's been a spinner. There's been a spinner. The number 30 of Rich Neal. It was just out of sight. We didn't quite change cameras in time. But we saw them going side by side, him and Stephen Soden, down into the bottom of the hill. It'll be interesting to see if Race Control had eyes on that, what they'll say about that. Andrew Spencer on that lap has gained 2 places, while setting a new fastest lap on the race. But that's horrible luck there from Rich Neal, who's now down into 7th. Contact warnings lighting up the timing screens, but no penalties as yet. But it has certainly been a race of shuffled up people. I don't think you would have got many odds, many people betting against you for the people in the top 3. But what started as a very chaotic heavyweight race has turned into another chill one, and you can see Dylan Kadir is absolutely delighted to take that race win. Hands to the sky, absolutely delighted, and why wouldn't he be? He's just won a heat race at the Car Racing Champions. Stephen Soden then, second on the track provisionally. We'll see if Race Control have anything to say about the incident. Could have been nothing. Andrew Spencer with an excellent drive as well to come up to 3rd from 13th on the grid. Spencer Gent finishes 4th. Will Shevlin from 16th on the grid up to 5th, a fantastic result. The rest of the top 10 then is Mike Smith, Rich Neal, Ian Wilson, Jack Evans and Russell Shepherd.